So right now to the first list item, before we even go there, we have the brand new state-of-the-art Dobie showroom along Uhuru Highway, and I can tell you this is a prime spot. If you love the Mercedes GLE 63 AMG, it's here. If you want to see the new Tiguan, it's here. If you want to see the brand new Volkswagen Caddy and many other cars that are in the Volkswagen stand, please come. Make sure you visit as you pass along Uhuru Highway. Pitia, talk to these guys. They'll give you amazing offers courtesy of Dobie. But Mr. Mirigi, the first news item. Now, Volkswagen Tiguan has begun local assembly in Kenya. This is something amazing because the Tiguan is a complex vehicle. Mr. Mirigi, what do you think about the Tiguan now being locally assembled? It's a first in Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, it's a very good thing by there because now they are adding to the cars that they are assembling in the country. They started, of course, now with the Volkswagen Polo Vivo and then the Volkswagen Caddy. So it means now they're expanding. And also it's important to note that they're not just assembling one variant of the Tiguan, they're doing 4 in total. Wow. So it increases now the availability of the stuff that you want to get. You can get the car for you and at a very good price. Because how much are they selling them now?
Well, the entry level that currently that they're selling, the Trendline and Highline, starts at 5.9 now. But now because they're assembling here in Kenya, that Trendline 5-seater Tiguan will cost 4.5 million shillings, so 1 million bob reduction. So that is going to be a favorable price, and guys like the Qashqai and the Tucson should be very scared about this brand new Tiguan. But the 7-seater old space is coming very soon next year. How much is it going for?
It's going to cost 5.6 million shillings.
Wow, so 7-seater Tiguan, and you know it's German build quality, built for local conditions. I can tell you for a fact, the deal is too good. So just make sure that you visit Dobie for more details. You'll find amazing stuff here ready to give you all the details about the new cars that are locally assembled. On to our second news item, and Hyundai have just launched the Venue crossover. This market is getting really, really intense. It was launched in South Africa in Cape Town, and of course in Kenya we're going to have this particular car. What are the key rivals of the Venue?
Now, of course, it's a small crossover SUV. So with that size, we're looking, of course, now at the Renault Duster and the Suzuki Vitara.
Now, in terms of power, it is actually coming with 2 states of tune. So you have a 1.2 liter, which produces 82 horsepower, and of course 128 newton meters of torque, compared to a 5-speed or 6-speed manual, which is just okay. But for more punch, you have the 1 liter GDTI turbo, which produces exactly 130 horsepower and 172 newton meters of torque, compared to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. So it's going to be very pep in its front wheel drive. But Mr. Mirigi, you've sampled different types of Hyundais. You've seen what the kind of quality Hyundai is bringing to this game. What do you expect with the Venue when it comes to the interior?
Well, I'm expecting that it's going to be very, very nice. I understand it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, lots of tech, and because Hyundai knows that they have to fight against the big boys, they're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this thing. So I'm expecting it's going to be really good. What we saw in the Hyundais that we've tested so far is that they're punching above their weight. So I'm very hopeful for this thing.
So stay tuned to Cars with Big Boy Trev. We're going to give you an exclusive review of this Venue when it lands in Kenya. So guys, on to our trivia question. Last week we asked you, when was the McLaren team formed? And we have so many people who sent in their answers from Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we have one winner, Mr. Ronnie Gisharu, who has won this amazing branded cap, original, signed by Carlos Sainz Jr. and Lando Norris. So if you can, please join us. Karibu sana, boss. Appreciate it. There you go. So this is the branded cap. So he's been lucky. We called him on set to come and just receive this brand new cap, courtesy of McLaren. And of course, 1 or 2 things to the audience.
It's a beautiful team and follow Cars and Big Boy Trev.
Cheers.
So.
Thank you very much.
So don't forget to follow us on social media on the handles below. We're going to be doing very many more giveaways. You stay tuned.
Continuing with the Christmas theme of giving and winning, now we are at the Sarit Center, and right behind me is a brand new Volkswagen Polo that actually goes for 1.69 million, sold and serviced by Dobie. But Mr. Mirigi, you can win this car, what do the viewers need to do?
Well, to stand a chance to win this car for free, you need to shop at Hot Point, spend 10,000 shillings, and put your entry in a draw that allows you to win the Volkswagen Polo Vivo, a trip to Dubai, or an entire home makeover.
Guys, make sure you do visit Hot Point. They're all over the place. So from Garden City to here, make sure just get something out. 10,000, could be a kettle, could be anything. Get yourself into the draw and you win this amazing car courtesy of Beauty Dobie. Step inside the cabin of the Santa Fe, and I can tell you for a fact, if you look at it from first glance, it actually looks very premium. Look at the swooshing design of the dashboard. It actually looks like a Jaguar XJ if you've been in one. The stitching on the dashboard just gives that illustration of premiumness, and that is what differentiates the Santa Fe from the rest of the SUV had. Now it has all the bells and whistles you can ever think of, but let's start with the center console. So on top of here, you do have a tablet style display that houses navigation system that works in Kenya. It actually has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support that allows you to control and connect your phone and use the navigation when using this particular car. And then the sound system, courtesy of Infinity. Let's try it out. As it powers on, get ready. Amka kumekucha za kwenda kazi. That is the national anthem for Kenya going to work, and I can tell you the surround sound of this particular Santa Fe is amazing. Remember, it plays in a category where the Mazda CX-9 is also present. You do have the Nissan X-Trail and the Toyota RAV4 all competing and jostling for the crown of being the #1 crossover / SUV in the market. As you go down, you do have a dual zone climatic control, or AC. It allows you to control the amount of air that comes into the cabin, and actually passengers can control their own temperature, their own environment, so they feel comfortable as they go and traverse our beautiful country. In this day and age, in the 21st century, you need a car that has multiple sockets to power up the multiple devices that you need. So for example, if you do have a wireless charging phone, for example, this one that I am having here, I won't say the brand, but you know it, you can actually put it here and it will wirelessly charge without any cables. But if you have other passengers who do have USB cables, you can actually connect one over here, they're two at the back, of course. And then if you do have like something like a laptop, you can actually connect to the 12-volt 180-watt charger that's right here. That gives you a lot of flexibility when using these particular elements in the car. The gearbox console as well, you do have plenty of gizmos. It's very modern. You do have your traditional gear shift style, which is called the gated style, and of course you do have electronic park brake and auto hold, and then you have driving modes. You have sportiness, you have efficiency or eco. So when you're driving fast, you just switch on from eco to sport mode and it dampens up everything. The suspension becomes firm, the steering becomes sharper, the throttle is very responsive, and the braking as well. This car gives you that ability to enjoy. It's the best of both worlds. So it carries people comfortably and you're able to drive as comfortably as you can imagine. If you look at the seats, they're quite supportive. Big Boy Trev is so comfortable, it's amazing. You do have something that is called a tilt and telescopic steering wheel, so you can adjust to your preference based on your height and width for people like me. And of course you do have the instrument binnacle over here that houses two main tachometers and the speedometer dials, so you can actually have that. You can see what speed you're going to, and then also you can actually see the amount of fuel that you're spending, the temperature of the engine, and of course in the middle you do have the multi-information display, the main one that gives you what is happening, real-time information of what's happening inside the car. And of course in conjunction with the heads-up display, you're able to drive without taking your eyes off the road. I can tell you, I can guarantee you, the level of comfort and safety, it's unprecedented. It is one that even the rivals should be scared of. Let's take a look at the back and see how much space the Santa Fe has. So matters at the back are just amazing. This is the most practical boot I've seen in a soft road in a long time. This particular Santa Fe, it has 2 seats up front, the first row of the seats, which is the standard one, 3 people, and then at the back you do have 2 seats that are comfortable for a kid and a brief person. You have headrests for safety purposes, of course, at the back, and seat belts as well, just to make sure that your family is safe, even if they sit at the back, which is very, very important. So also at the back you do have a storage bin area, a tray that actually houses the tonneau cover that allows you to protect your valuables from prying eyes. If you don't want tint, then this is the thing for you. Luckily, Hyundai found a solution. You can actually pull it up like this and out. It's a tonneau cover, this one. See that one? It works perfectly well. And of course, right here, you do have your standard equipment. You do have your jack, your spare wheel, and of course, you do have quite a number of things. Even this cargo nets, so that you can hold on into things that are moving around in the boot. That is all done and amazing. But the question is it as fun to drive as the rest of the hard? Is it better than a CX-9 or a Toyota RAV4? We're going to find out, take it on the road, and then we're going to give you a value for money proposition on how this car performs in Kenya. Cars with Big Boy Trev will be back shortly.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, road safety segment, we discuss traveling in bad weather. As we make plans to travel this rainy festive season, it is important to recognize the dangers associated with driving in the rain. The main danger in this weather is a phenomenon known as aquaplaning. Aquaplaning happens when water creates a thin film between the contact surface of your tire and the road, preventing the tire from gripping the road surface. If your tire's grooves and treads are worn out, the water on the contact patch will not be channeled out to create grip, and the tire will slide, causing a loss of control. To avoid aquaplaning, check your tire tread depth before embarking on a long journey. Ensure that the tire tread depth is not lower than 1.5 millimeters to ensure that water is removed from the contact surface on wet roads. If your tire is bald or worn out, you will put yourself at risk of aquaplaning and eventual loss of control. In this rainy season, you should also replace worn-out wiper blades. Your windscreen wipers have a critical role of clearing water and dirt off your windscreen surface to enhance visibility. You can get replacement wiper blades from authorized dealers and accessory shops countrywide. It is important in this bad weather to plan your journey to anticipate potential problems. Check weather reports to see whether the route desired will be affected by rain, and plan for alternative routes or emergency accommodation in the event of road closures or massive traffic jams caused by accidents. If you do choose to travel in this weather, do it during the day as visibility is better. Keep within the speed limits at all times and keep a safe distance away from the vehicle ahead of you while driving in the rain, as the thin film of water on the road when it rains will increase your braking distance. Make sure to have regular stops spread across the journey to enhance alertness. Driving in bad weather requires a lot of concentration and will result in greater levels of driver fatigue than usual. For you to remain safe, it is important that you remain visible to other road users, as well as enhancing your own field of vision while driving. If your vehicle is equipped with fog lamps, switch them on, as well as your low beams to illuminate the lower part of your field of vision. Check if all the bulbs for all your lights on your car are working. Your main headlights, your parking lights, fog lamps if your car has them, your hazards, and your tail lamps, so that vehicles ahead and behind you can identify you easily. Don't forget to carry a first aid kit, a blanket, an emergency torch, and ensure that your mobile phone is fully charged. These tips will help you in the event that you get caught up in a potentially hazardous situation. Always remember, common sense is the most important tool you have to keep yourself safe while on the road this season.
We've seen how practical the Santa Fe is. Question is, does it offer an accelerating ride as compared to the rest of the soft-roader family? Now we want to test how good the Santa Fe is. Remember, Hyundai has been on a spending spree, buying engineers from Germany. The person in charge of development at N Sports, which is Hyundai's arm for motorsports, Mr. Bimerman, was the person in charge of M Sport, which is BMW's sporting arm. So he's brought a lot of techniques and expertise into Hyundai to make this car an accelerating car to drive. Now this particular car has a 2.2 liter 4-cylinder engine that produces, guess what, 147 kilowatts and 440 newton meters, enough to make you go like this. This is a diesel, but it pulls very, very well. Now all that power is sent to the 4 wheels courtesy of a H-track transmission, which is an 8-speed automatic, and of course all-wheel drive. Now H-track allows you to explore the full potential of this particular car like this, while giving you good grip and consistency across board. If you want to drive it on sport mode, now you just select sport on the gearbox console and everything sharpens. The steering is firm. You can even feel the suspension hardens up, so it allows you to take the crests and curves without any stress. And of course you do have the throttle response, no longer dump, now it is sharp and crisp and precise. Now if you're into the petrol version, you do have also an option of getting a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder petrol that produces 138 kilowatts and 241 newton meters of torque, and of course has the same system but has a 6-speed automatic and H-track, which is the all-wheel drive version of Hyundai. Now in terms of fuel consumption, the diesel is slightly better than the petrol. You do have a fuel economy figure of 14.3 kilometers to the liter, while on the petrol is 10.1 kilometers to the liter. Now I can tell you for a fact that diesel definitely is a good choice. Plenty of torque, plenty of power, but people will say, listen, Kenya doesn't have good diesel quality. I can tell you for a fact that now we no longer refine our diesel, so we do have imported diesel that meets Euro 3 standards, and this particular engine is of Euro 3 grade. So you can enjoy a diesel vehicle courtesy of Hyundai. Now safety is very important. Now the Hyundai has a mix of active and safety equipment to ensure that you and your family are safe. So in terms of active safety, these are the features that actively work to prevent you from having an accident. So for example, you do have anti-lock braking system, vehicle stability control, you do have blind spot assist, you do have cross traffic alert. You have so many gizmos that just work in milliseconds, in micro milliseconds, if there's anything like that. In case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the multiple airbags, I think, which are 8 in this car, and of course you do have crumple zones that protect and dissipate energy, impact energy from the passenger cell into the chassis, and protects you and your family from harm's way. That said, we need to do a value for money analysis. Do you think this particular is better than a CX-9 Mazda, or a Toyota RAV4, or a Suzuki Grand Vitara? We're going to find out as we talk with Mirigi on Cars with Big Boy Trev. So guys, we've driven the Hyundai Santa Fe 2019 version. I can tell you for a fact that it is well made. This 2.2 liter version has 440 newton meters of torque on tap, split to 4 wheels courtesy of an 8-speed automatic. You have leather seats, plenty of technology, and of course the best thing is the seated heating and cooling.
Prices for this car start at 6.3 million shillings, making it a very wide range of people we are looking at. But for the Kenyan market, we're looking at the Honda CR-V and the Renault Koleos as being the main competitors for this vehicle in this segment.
Now this particular car comes with a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, which is an industry first for a dealership that offers 5 years and 100,000 kilometers. Terms and conditions apply. Warranty. If you're looking at where to buy the Santa Fe and many other Hyundai products, we have a new dealership in town. It's called Salvador Caetano Kenya Limited. They're the authorized dealers of Hyundai vehicles, and you can get sales, service and spare parts from them at any given time. If you have an older Hyundai, please make sure you visit them. They're along Mombasa Road and be able to take care of your Hyundai. Signing out, this is Big Boy Trev.
This is Mirigi.
Be safe and drive safe. Oh, and don't forget to holler at us on our social media handles as seen below.